What's up, y'all? Welcome to Two Brothers and a Shot of Milk. And today, we're talking that Harley Quinn Valentine's Day episode. Man, let me give you the synopsis, and then we're going to just give you our spoiler free, and then we'll jump on in. Harley and Ivy are celebrating their very first Valentine's Day together. Also follows the rest of the ragtag crew on how they spend the gushiest, mushiest, most romantic day of the year. Guys, I watched the series. I love this. This is the most. I sat here thinking, and then spoiler alert: Poison Ivy says it. This is ridiculous, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
yes, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. And it owned it. It leaned into it. And
Oh
as
my
bizarre
God.
as it is, the roots of all these characters didn't feel far fetched from who they are in their comics. It's just dialed up to a billion. And that's the issue with the Velma series. The core of those characters are not the Scooby Gang. Here,
Mm.
the core, Clayface, he was an actor first.
Yeah.
So he's very dramatic. And anyways, I loved it. I wish I can get my wife to watch it, but she won't. What did you guys think?
Yeah,
I mean, no, you
go
go,
ahead.
go, Jack. In fact, yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go because I know Jack gonna be like, it was very quintessential. No, stop. Anyway, it was, it was all right. It was a Harley Quinn special. Like, in one of the jokes that I saw, uh, I think Poison Ivy did. I was like, that was a reach, or not even a reach. It was like they were trying too hard with that joke. But after that, it was like really at the beginning of it. After that, it was all right. It was it was fun. It was a fun watch, as Chris will say.
Jack?
I enjoyed it.
Rich?
Oh, come on, man. See,
Oh, he's trying to play
I
you.
see what you're
It's
doing.
okay.
All right.
You're going to get
Okay.
in. But Rich, I
You're
want to
being
ask you
Petty
a
McGee
question.
over here. All right. I
I want to
guess.
ask you a question.
Okay.
Would you consider Valentine's Day a holiday?
No.
Would you say the world would consider Valentine's Day a holiday?
The
The
world
world would,
or
yes.
America?
Would you say America would consider Valentine's Day a holiday?
Yes.
So we can say this is a holiday special.
Yeah.
This is how you do a holiday special, Rich. Not
Okay.
that Guardians of the Galaxy and you and Chris kept going, it's a holiday special. What do you expect? No, this is a holiday special.
Get out of here. Anyway, whatever.
This is a
No,
holiday
he's right.
special.
He's actually right on this one, Rich.
This didn't just, it's just to buy time until the
And
season comes out.
the reason why it really is a holiday special is whether you're watching the series or not, you can watch this and just jump in and jump out, and it standalone holds.
I guess. Yeah.
Holiday special.
All right, let's
All
spoil
right.
this thing.
Let's get into this,
Whatever.
man. So basically, we have Harley and Poison Ivy. If you don't watch the series, they basically got together. They're together now. And they're celebrating their first Valentine's Day. And Harley is all about like, yo, I want to give you the best Valentine's Day ever. And Poison Ivy's kind of just like, I want to like binge watch Netflix and have sex, go to sleep.
Yeah.
She's like every dude in the relationship. Man. But Harley's like, no. She says, I'm gonna take you to this pasta spot. They get the pasta, Rich. I was rolling because the way she was talking about these freaking vegan pasta balls, she was like, "What the these pasta?" Oh man, I was rolling. And then basically the place like blows up. Guys come in and like try to steal the recipe. They gotta go after them.
Yo, but wait. So jumping ahead, spoiler alert. Harley orchestrates the whole thing. So
it's
looking
ridiculous.
back at what happens, these guys go into the restaurant and literally just start murking people.
They shot the waiter in the head.
They shot the waiter.
They shot the waiter in the head. Just ridiculous. So I'm like, right off the bat, you're like, there's no question as to the tone or the content you're getting involved in.
And Harley, literally, it's all just a setup for Poison Ivy.
Just to prove
but
how
real
much
people died. And the reason why it works is because at the heart of hearts, Harley Quinn is and has always been a psychopath.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like they're jumping the shark with their character. No, it's dialed up to 1,000,000 degrees.
But we're also watching villains this series, at least this episode, is focused on the villains.
The
So
whole
their
series
antics,
is, yeah.
so their antics being questionable morally is great
Mm-hmm.
because they have moral issues.
And oh, well, I mean, that's not such a thought. Harley's is like, yo, this is like the best Valentine's ever, right? Poison Ivy's like, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Now, now, Poison Ivy, listen, all you guys in your relationships, don't ask your wives or your girlfriends if you're the best ever anything, because you might get that. Yeah. Don't ask.
It's good.
Just create your
It
own
was great.
narrative in your
You
head.
did a good job.
Don't ask. So basically Harley asks and she doesn't feel quite content. So she goes to freaking Etrigan, it's a magic shop,
Hysterical.
to get a spell.
Oh no. But before that, she went and hijacks Wonder Woman's lasso of truth
Hysterical also.
to find out whether she's telling the truth, and she ends up being top 3. She can't stand for that.
And like the way she fooled Wonder Woman was dumb, and then she showed her mom.
Then she said,
"It was a cameo." She paid for the cameo.
Hysterical.
Brilliant.
Best $40 ever spent.
Brilliant. Like this show does such a good job of just being on trend, pushing the bar, but never feeling like it's trying to do something.
Right, it
but
wasn't
even when it
arbitrary.
does,
It was graphic, and it was definitely not PC at all, but it wasn't, and it was arbitrary, but it didn't feel like the writers were laughing at how clever they were for shock factor. That's what it was. It didn't feel like shock factor because it all felt rooted in the characters. Whereas, not to stress on Velma again, the problem with that is it just felt like shock factor that wasn't actually rooted in the characters.
and you felt like writers on Velma are commenting on the content. Here,
Right.
it felt like these guys were in a room having the best time in the world, seeing what they can come up with.
Yeah.
It's magic. I mean, they're capturing lightning in a bottle with this show.
It's crazy. And then, like,
even all throughout the show, you get all these little one-off cameos with other characters who are in relationships.
We doing like, because it's also a docu-series. So first up, we got Superman and Lois talking about how they met, and it's cute and it makes sense, but it's just funny that it's Superman and Lois. And you got Hawkman and Hawkgirl saying, like, when I first met her, I knew I wanted to marry her. And she's like, oh, yeah, I wanted to marry him too, and she had to because it was, it was 40,000 years ago, so she had no choice. But but it wasn't like in another series, Velma, they would have made a comment on that to bash the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Here, it just was.
But it also it did bash it brought awareness to the thing without forcing it on you.
And they didn't put a judgment on it. They were like, it was.
Yeah, they let you judge it.
They
don't. That's interesting. They don't need to put a judgment on it. They just bring awareness, and anyone watching the content is going to judge it.
Yeah, we'll do the judging. You just tell me what it is. So yes, Harley learns that she's top 3. She goes to Etrigan, gets a spell to make Poison Ivy have the biggest orgasm she's ever had. Then we get to the penthouse, and Poison Ivy's like, I'm extremely horny right now. And I didn't expect the sex scene to be this graphic for a cartoon, but I was like, everywhere. she went downtown to Main Street, Rich.
I mean,
And then
she exploded
she had an orgasm, and her pheromones hit the city, and everybody starts losing their minds and going at it.
It looked like that moment in Ghostbusters where the beam of light shoots through the entire surface of the city and then dissipates. And so you got all these rose petals descending onto Gotham, which are like infused with her euphoric. And as the rose petals are hitting the people on the streets, they start getting ridiculously horny and going at each other.
Going at it all night long.
Now, meanwhile, Going back, Bane, who's
Bane.
all the characters have been having their own little
Yeah.
existential crises, right? So Bane, who is cannot find love to save his life, ends up randomly meeting a girl who's doing a BDSM thing, and she thinks because he's dressed up like he should be doing that
Yes.
he's supposed to be with her. So she just brings him into the thing with her, and they're torturing a guy for his pleasure.
But can we wait?
And
Can we talk about the guy real quick? Where like they're going back and forth. The guy's like, "I'm feeling more annoyed than humiliated."
because you're not
they
paying any
go
attention.
there.
Yeah,
They go
Bane's
there.
chemistry with this girl is like, it's perfect. But then what happens is, as they're humiliating the guy who they're torturing, they take down his undies, and he's got a teeny weenie.
She's like, "Look at
And
that teeny weenie." And Bane's
and
like,
so she starts
"It's perfectly average size teeny."
Yes.
right. And so instantly, Bane starts like defending the guy's teeny weenie. And you're like, okay, so clearly Bane has some equipment problems. Maybe not that there's anything wrong
No,
with it.
he's like, "I'm big. Of
Right?
course, it looks small. If the rest of me is
like,
huge,
there's nothing wrong with the size of my package. I'm just
I'm just
massive as a
I'm
man.
just a large man."
So the girl goes, "Hey, let's go back to my place after this gig." And they get in the car, and Bane's like, text me the address. I'll meet you there. He goes to the magic shop too because he wants to get something that's going to grow his member.
Yes.
And so what happens is he reads the incantation, rubs it on his junk,
It
and then
starts to
realizes
burn.
It
he goes,
starts to
why
burn.
is it burned? And then there's a warning label on the bottom, and it says, "Don't mix with."
HGH, literally steroids.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
me
And
my
you know
growth
what?
hormone.
That hit me because I'm like, I definitely had uh, an encounter with a lubricant that made me burn. I was like, oh, I felt your pain, bro.
Well,
Did you also
Yeah.
rub it on yourself while walking down the sidewalk, Rich?
No, not while I was walking on the sidewalk. No. I was
Right out of the store. Did you start going to
I
work?
was in the midst of doing the deed, and it started burning me. It started burning me and my partner because we were going at it. And that's the reason why we needed to lube. And looking at it is like if your skin is sore or broken, do not use. And it was the warming one. This is when the warming KY first came out. Yeah,
This
wasn't
segment has taken on a
wasn't
whole
fun.
so let me get back to Bane rubs it on his junk. He realized he messed up, and the thing has a crazy effect. It not only grows his junk about the size of Optimus Prime, it grows his body about the size of the Empire State Building. During which time, Poison Ivy is
pheromones is just
right.
out there.
And so Bane gets rained on with all these leaves, and so
I'm
now
horny.
he's very big and he's very horny.
And he starts going to work on the build.
On the only thing his size, the buildings.
He's humping everything. And at this point, I'm like, you guys are brilliant. Somebody in the writer's room came up with that, and somebody sparring up in that room said, yes.
Go with
more,
it.
Please. Yes.
Yeah.
And at the same time,
we're also
Clayface.
missing Clayface. Yeah, I was about to say.
He's lonely, man. He is so lonely. And he got catfished because he was gonna meet Jerry. And Harley Poison Ivy's like, this looks like Jason Momoa. You're gonna get murdered in an alley. Clayface goes to Crime Alley.
Yeah.
and the guy's like coming to the dark area, and it's freaking Captain Boomerang. Yep. And he tries to mug him, but he doesn't have any money, and he cuts him in two pieces. And when Clayface is cut in two pieces, each piece has its own consciousness. So you pretty much have Clayface's butt talking at his butt cheeks, and Clayface they're like, we love each other. I'll have you, but if we touch, we'll reabsorb. So the whole time they're resisting the urge to pretty much. The whole joke is a rim job joke. The whole joke is like, is he gonna get his face in that butt? Rich, at what point? I mean, really, what is the show?
When they're in the bubbles, somebody was just licking the bubble.
It's like,
oh man,
yo, they're on crack. Whoever's thinking this is on. Oh man,
it was great.
So basically, Poison Ivy and Harley realize what they've done, and they weren't even about to stop anything. They're like, "Oh, what's the problem with a bunch of people on Valentine's Day having amazing consensual sex?"
Right.
Poison
It was
Ivy's like, "Oh, that's
good point.
cool." Until freaking Bane is humping and destroying the whole city,
Yeah.
and they're like, which is interesting because as much as they're villains, Jack, they still will save the day if it's a mistake.
There's
Yeah.
such a wholesome heartbeat to this episode, which is great. It really manages to capture love. It's a
Mm.
Valentine's Day special that is outrageous, so far out the mark, so on PC, so unapologetic, and yet it really does have a profound, little heartfelt message,
I mean,
Like, yeah.
yeah. I'm trying to
especially
think
by the end, man.
for Clayface. Okay,
Well,
so
and the best part, and jumping ahead, another big spoiler, the best part about it was when Harley is so heartbroken that she couldn't give Poison Ivy the best Valentine's Day of her life. Ivy says, "It's not fair for you to judge it that way because you probably don't even know what the number one slot is for me for Valentine's Day. It was when you were just a psychiatrist and you walked into
that
Arkham."
was sweet.
Mm.
I was like, oh, man, this is
You
such
walked
good
into
writing.
Arkham, gave me chocolate milk, and explained to me the plot of Shrek 2. In which Harley says it's not as good as the first one, but it's more fun. Like that stuff.
Right?
It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. And then you have freaking this John Stamos guy over here, like reading the poems. And of course, like Bane's about to go and tear that guy to
Yeah.
shreds. And they got to stop it from happening. And Clayface gets stepped on by Bane, reuniting his butt and his face together.
So sad. It was so sad.
So sad. And then he Clayface is the only one. I don't know if there's something after the credits, but he's the only one that walks away from Valentine's Day sad.
Right.
Like he
Because
doesn't
that
have.
girl ends up finding Bane being a giant and her being like, it's kind of like a King Kong moment, but
Yeah.
he's ready to figure it out.
And Harley and
Like,
Poison Ivy like, how do you think that's going to work? They're like, not
oh,
good,
nah.
not good at all. But Clayface is still like, maybe there's a post credit. There might be a post credit for Clayface. I hope there is because he wanted it the most.
Yeah.
But basically, Bane is about to tear this guy up, and the Clayface grows to the size of that guy and becomes that guy, and basically give Bane all his turnoffs. That way, he can stop being so horny.
What was
Clayface
funny
is
about it, he wasn't even, it
He
almost looked
was
like
not trying.
Clayface wasn't going to. He was like, you
no.
know what?
Clayface is like, I'm about to get some
Yeah.
action.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah.
then Bane said anyways instead of anyway.
No,
And
Clayface
then-
says anyways, which is
Yeah.
Bane.
Right.
'Cause that was
Right.
one of the things Bane was talking
Yes.
about,
On his,
grammar and the proper English and everything.
on his
Yeah.
Tinder profile.
And then that was a wrap.
Yes.
But Clayface
Which
is
I
like,
also relate with because there's so many Tinder profiles I've been through, and it's like, anyways, oh man, it's maddening. It's maddening.
Can I be honest? I have had a problem with that for at least the last couple of decades. I do say anyways a lot, but what's funny about it is for the last 2 decades, last 20 years or so, I have been aware that it's wrong every time I say it. But I'm so used to saying it. I say anyways, and I go,
I just learned that it was wrong watching this Harley Quinn series.
well,
And
now
guess what?
now you can spend the next 20 years doing what I do,
No, 'cause
knowing that I'm
I'm
saying
going
wrong.
with the rest of the sheep. If we're all saying anyways, then we have changed it. No, but he basically turns Bane off, and Clayface is about to like put on a show in the middle of the city. Like it was about to happen, and he just wants to be loved. Doesn't work out. So yes, then by the end, you're right. Poison Ivy says that to Harley, but she also says, "Why didn't you just give me what I wanted?"
Right.
She's
Love
like,
me the way I ask you to love me.
and then Harley's like, "But you came out to dinner," and it's like, "Yes, because it's what you wanted." Listen, I mean, I felt like this is relationship advice. Like, listen to what I'm saying, not what you think I'm saying, what I'm actually telling you. And then it was pretty beautiful, man. And then they did the last confessional. And like, how do you end this thing? Happy Valentine's Day.
All right, let's just end it.
Yo, this is a sweet freaking episode. The most ridiculous, raunchiest thing I've
Holiday
ever seen.
special.
And Rich, this, sir, is a holiday special.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
not just
Alright.
called a holiday special. It's actually a holiday special.
And the whole thing, this show could this nothing in this episode could have happened if it wasn't Valentine's Day.
Right.
It had to
Yes.
be Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. It's like Die Hard.
Special.
Had to be Christmas.
Did it though?
Moving on.
What do you rate this, guys? What do you rate this?
It's pretty flawless for what it is. For what it is, it's almost a 10 out of 10, you know?
I agree.
I mean, I wouldn't call it but I wouldn't call it a 10 based off of, like Black Panther, but for the content it is. It stays true to itself the whole way through. It's hysterical and unapologetic about it. It dials itself from a 0 to 10, and it's moving.
And
it's a 10 out of 10.
Do you watch the whole series? I know you've seen episodes, but do you watch the series, Jack?
No.
So you can just jump in.
I've jumped in and out, and that's what I'm saying. It's also a standalone. I don't need the whole series to enjoy it. The characters are identifiable. They're all behaving in ways I know them to behave and should behave. There's no question as to who they are or what they want or why they want it. And that's what's funny about it. For what it is, it's almost flawless. Yeah, I agree. Maybe on some level, Rich, that maybe in the beginning some of the stuff felt a little more than other stuff, but it was also maybe just me calibrating to the tone of the show right off the top.
Mm-hmm.
This thing was great,
dude. So what do you give it?
Well, that's the thing. If I'm comparing it to other stuff, then I'd still probably give it like an 8. It's like episode. It's better than like episode 4 of the What If series,
Mm-hmm.
But so if I'm comparing it to other stuff, maybe I give it an 8 or something. If I'm comparing it to that kind of genre, it dominates. It's 10 out of 10.
So what do you give it?
I'm gonna give it I'll give it a 9.
Okay.
9. All right.
Okay. I'm giving this. Oh, go ahead, Rich.
I'm gonna give it an 8, and I'm knocking a couple of points off because of that one joke that Poison Ivy did at the beginning.
What was
and
the
then
joke?
Also, where was King Shark? King Shark wasn't in it.
So
King Shark is hilarious.
Yeah,
I love me some King Shark. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the actor wasn't available.
Maybe that stuff was too funny.
Because King Shark, he's murdered all his. Didn't he just murder his brother? Isn't he? Where is King Shark?
He did have to go back into the kingdom.
He wound up killing his brother.
He did, but I think he like gave it back, or he gave it to someone. I have to go rewatch that episode.
I'm giving this a 9.5, man. Like, comedy's harder. Comedy's hard. Comedy's hard in drama. It's instant reaction. Not like delayed, like you might cry later when you think about it. Like, you got to make me laugh. You got to make me laugh now. That's harder. It seems ridiculous, but this ridiculousness is so well crafted, it didn't make you roll your eyes when you should have. I would put this up, and this isn't a 9.5 like on its own. Like, I would put this against other 9s we've said 9s for what it set out to do. Yep. It's just as good as Spider-Man No Way Home to me for what it set out to accomplish, its rules. And I laughed hard.
Except it's not as good as Spider-Man No Way Home. But yes, what you said is true though. Its lane and how it's executing its lane.
I would say this Spider-Man No Way Home gets really good halfway through the movie. You don't even really remember the first half. You remember he fought Doctor Strange, right? Barely. You don't really remember until Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield come in.
Wait, there was a movie before that moment?
Exactly. There's a whole movie before they show up. about him trying to capture villains and like there's a bunch of just stuff that isn't.
Yeah.
It's fine. So like, there's a whole lot of movie before it makes you lean in. So let's not forget that.
It's fair.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this is like him and his friends got devices and they're gonna run out there and catch supervillains. Like Zendaya and the dude are now going to capture bad guy. It turned into Scooby Doo, and then his Aunt May dies, and then
spoiler alert!
Sorry for those who haven't watched Spider-Man: No Way Home.
But you're listening to this podcast.
You listen to this podcast.
Or watching this video. All right, so we got an 8, we got an 8, we got a 9, we got a 9.5. Put all that together, divided by 3, it's a 8.8888. So let's call it a 9.
9. It's a 9er, man.
Go with a 9. All right.
This joint's good. Yeah. Watch it with your lady, Rich.
I'll try.
That's coming from Lawrence, who can't even get his lady to watch it.
No, Shay will not watch this. She'll just see cartoons. She'll see it's cartoon. I know. Well, that's what we have here. Let us know in the comment section what you guys thought of this Harley Quinn Valentine's Day extravaganza. Hit the playlist. We got other reviews. We got toy unboxings. We got toy hunts. We got comic books. We got so much stuff in the playlist. Hit the playlist. We also got a podcast. Hit the link below. We also got social media. Hit the links below. Instagram, TikTok. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Same bad time.
Same bad channel.
Peace. What's up, y'all? Welcome to 3 Brothers and a Shot of Milk.